OKLO stock is up 500% year to date. Today we're not just looking at the headlines, we're getting into a full technical analysis of OKLO. We'll be identifying key buy levels, looking at patterns forming, and project where the stock could be headed next, especially for 2025. If you've been watching this name or just hearing about it for the first time, this video will give you the tools you need to understand its potential. Now let's dive into the charts. Now, for many investors that don't know what OKLO stock does, we'll be doing a deeper analysis on the company. As you can see, OKLO engages in the development of fission reactors. It provides clean energy through the design and deployment of fast fission power plants. The company was founded by Jacob DeWitt and Caroline Cochran on July 3, 2013, and is headquartered in Santa Clara, California, with a current market cap of $21 billion. Now, the reasoning as to why this name is up 500% year to date is simply because of the massive expenses or investments that the Mag 7 names like Meta or Microsoft are having in the nuclear reactor names. And pretty much the main thesis is that nuclear will help power AI, more specifically data centers. As a majority of the Mag 7, for example, AWS, as well as Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud, are looking to obtain more power over time. Simply, the overall capital structure of the company is primarily going to be through obviously some debt, but they also do have cash and cash equivalents. Now, we do have to take into consideration that it's a very new company with only 113 employees and such an immense market cap right here of 21. Overall, the company is still losing money. It's negative 0.40, which shows that the company is not profitable yet on an earnings per share basis. And as you can see here, the statements, if you look at the overall income statement and look at this, they're actually not making any money and are losing on average each and every single time. Like the revenue is pretty much flat, as you can see here. The gross profit has been declining over the past couple of quarters, most recently, like I said. And if you look at the annual, we see a bigger downside move. So the company isn't really making lots of money now, but the valuation, I believe, is pretty lofty. But like I said, with these names, there's a lot of overall hype within the names. And that's why we'll be looking at the chart to analyze where the stock can potentially go from here and some buy levels for investors. So here we are on a daily chart of OKLO. And if you've been watching my videos, we did post an OKLO review about 3 months ago when the stock was around this price zone or around $60. And we did predict that the stock would reach around this zone of around $83 price target towards $100. Obviously, the stock currently being valued at $142 per share. Our valuation and overall price targets were correct. Now, like I said, the stock, in my opinion, is pretty overextended. This intense move that we have since the beginning of the 15th of September initiated such a powerful move towards the upside. Now, I do believe that the stock does have a price target towards $162. I do believe the company can achieve that level if we keep continuing to see this intense upside momentum that we've been seeing so far on the stock. Now, if we do get some type of retracement, and I believe we will, is that, we're very far from the 50 MA, which is right here. We are pretty much 72% away. That is immense. We are prone for a pullback, and that's why I believe that the levels where we will find support here, which are green, are going to be the $122 level right here on the chart, and if you have a deeper correction over time towards $83. Now, something I want to acknowledge here is that the stock does have a high PE ratio. And specifically, if we take a closer look here and we plot, let's say, an anchored VWAP from this high and measure this momentum, and now plot an anchored VWAP from the initiation of this intense move that we've been seeing, like the volume you can see on the bottom here of my screen, for example, these are the levels that are forming confluence. So like I said, this $122 zone and 115 are going to be key areas, I'd say, where the stock is going to be having some intense buyers, backing up the name, especially with, a lot of the Max 7 being heavily invested within this name. And like I said, if the momentum does still continue, then my price target is still going to be sustained towards $161.52. Now, the reasoning as to why I'm saying it's overextended is simply this. If we use Fibonacci retracements, for example, from this high right here to this low, we see that we overextended it. Usually when it gets towards these zones right here that you see on my chart, the stock is getting really overextended. And the next target is going to be around the zone of 160. And when it gets above this blue line around this zone, anything above here does show overextension. Now we can even plot an RSI here and get the overall index, and we can see, look, it is being overbought. What this happens here is that as soon as it goes above 70 on the RSI, it shows that there has been intense buying and that we are prone for a pullback. This happened exactly last time, after we saw this intense move in OKLO around the 28th of May. As you can see here on the chart on the lower part of my screen, I'll just take this off here. As you can see, during this part, we had, very high RSI, and that is when we pulled back towards a key level, a key anchored VWAP, and we've been trending ever since there. And I believe it's exactly what's been happening here. So we will have a pullback. Now, it's just a matter of time before we do. And like I said, those are the key levels that I'm looking to buy the stock with a key price target towards 161, obviously with convergence with the RSI. And there you have it. With OKLO being the leader in nuclear names, does this name have the momentum to continue its strong upward trajectory? Now that is something that only time will tell. Now, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and let me know in the comment section whether you're invested in this name or are simply looking for an entry position. Like I said, and as always, don't let the markets whip you guys out. I'll see you guys on the next one.